Welcome to our channel, where every story has a reason to unfold. Before we begin, please subscribe and hit the bell icon for notifications of all our latest stories. Please support us beneath the golden skies, in a quiet corner of California, where the Pacific Ocean kissed the rugged cliffs and the hills rolled gently into vineyards. A love story was quietly unfolding. The town of Sonoma, with its warm, sun-dappled streets and vineyards stretching as far as the eye could see, was home to Marissa, a free-spirited artist with a passion for capturing the fleeting moments of beauty in her work. She lived in a small cottage on the edge of town, nestled among oak trees, her studio filled with brushes, paints, and canvases that told stories of love, loss, and hope. Marissa's days were often spent walking through the vineyards, her mind swirling with ideas for her next painting, a soft breeze rustling through her hair. The landscape itself seemed to inspire her, the golden hills bathed in sunlight, the vines laden with grapes, and the ocean breeze that carried with it the scent of salt and earth. Yet, despite the beauty that surrounded her, she felt a quiet emptiness within. Love, she often thought, was something she had never fully experienced. It was something that had eluded her, slipping through her fingers like sand, leaving her heart tender but untouched. One morning, as Marissa was sketching a new piece in her studio, the doorbell rang. She opened it to find a man standing on her doorstep, tall with dark, wavy hair and eyes that seemed to hold a universe of stories. His name was Ethan, a photographer who had recently moved to Sonoma after years of traveling the world. He had an easy smile, and there was an openness in his gaze, as if he had learned to see the world not just with his eyes but with his soul. "I've heard about your art," he said, his voice deep and warm. "I'm Ethan, and I was wondering if you'd be willing to let me photograph you. I feel like your work speaks to something deeper, and I'd love to capture that." Marissa was taken aback by his sudden request. She was used to people admiring her work, but no one had ever wanted to capture her essence. She hesitated, unsure whether she was ready for such vulnerability, but there was something in Ethan's presence, a gentleness in the way he asked, that made her heart flutter. After a moment of consideration, she agreed, and they set up a time for the shoot. The next week, Ethan arrived early in the morning, carrying his camera bag and a tripod. He had chosen the vineyards as the backdrop. The golden light of the early morning casting long shadows across the rows of grapevines. As they worked together, Ethan was patient, giving Marissa space to find her rhythm. He never rushed her, always waiting for the perfect moment to snap a shot. And in that stillness, as they moved through the vineyard together, something shifted in Marissa. She began to feel seen, not just for the art she created, but for who she truly was. Woman full of dreams, emotions, and the quiet longing for a connection that had always seemed just out of reach. Over the next few weeks, Ethan and Marissa met often. Sometimes it was for another photo shoot, other times just to walk through the vineyards, sharing stories of their past. Ethan had traveled across continents, capturing the beauty of places and faces, but it was in Sonoma that he felt a sense of peace he hadn't known in years. Marissa, on the other hand, had always lived in Sonoma, but it was with Ethan that she felt like she was seeing her home in a new light. As they spent more time together, Marissa began to open up to Ethan in ways she never had before. She shared her fears, her dreams, and the hurt she carried from past relationships that hadn't worked out. Ethan listened without judgment, offering words of comfort and understanding. His presence was a balm to her heart, and she found herself drawn to him in ways that both terrified and exhilarated her. One evening, as they sat on a blanket in the middle of a vineyard, watching the sunset paint the sky with shades of pink and gold, Ethan turned to her. His expression was serious, his eyes searching hers as if trying to read the unspoken words in her heart. "Marissa," he said softly, "I know we haven't known each other for long, but there's something about you that feels like home. I've traveled the world, seen so many places, but it's here, with you, that I feel truly alive." Marissa's heart raced as she listened to his words. She had always been afraid of love, afraid of the vulnerability it demanded, but with Ethan, she felt something different. It wasn't the kind of love that burned bright and fast, only to fizzle out. It was steady, like the vineyards around them, slow growing, deep-rooted, and built to last. "I feel it too," she whispered, her voice trembling with the truth of it. "I've never felt this way before." They leaned in, their lips meeting in a soft, tentative kiss, the kind that spoke of new beginnings and unspoken promises. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting the sky in a final burst of color, they knew that something had shifted between them. It wasn't just a fleeting moment or a passing connection. It was something deeper, something worth holding on to. In the weeks that followed, their bond grew stronger. Marissa's paintings began to change, infused with the depth of emotion she felt for Ethan. Her once solitary world became a place of shared experiences, where laughter and love filled the spaces between the bricks. Ethan, in turn, found himself photographing not just the beauty of the landscapes, but the beauty of their love. The way they held each other under the stars, the way they whispered secrets in the quiet of the night. Their love story, born in the quiet beauty of Sonoma, was one that would endure. It wasn't just about the art or the photos or the vineyards. It was about two souls finding each other in a world full of distractions and choosing to build something beautiful together. One fall afternoon, as the leaves turned golden and the vineyard shimmered in the fading light of day, Ethan proposed to Marissa. He had found a spot overlooking the valley, the place where they had shared their first kiss. As he knelt before her, the world around them seemed to fade into a blur. All that mattered was the love they shared, the promise of forever that they were about to make. "Marissa," he said, his voice filled with emotion, "will you marry me? Will you be my forever?" With tears in her eyes, Marissa said yes, and they kissed once more beneath the golden skies of California.